Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for the next video. In this one I'm going to be showing you how to assemble the April daisy. Now this is a really cute flower to work with. It's really simple and easy to put together. With just a few elements that you're getting in this die set, it means that you can create the most beautiful daisies, and they really do work alongside any project that you wish to put them with. So making a start with this one, I'm going to show you exactly on the die set what I have cut already. So you can see here we have two different sizes of the full daisy. Now you can make super tiny ones if you wanted to, but I've chosen to work with the slightly larger ones just so you can definitely see what I'm actually doing. So I've cut two here of the large white daisy, and these are the ones I'm going to be using in this demonstration. But also I've chosen not to cut the stamens. Now of course these are what make the centre of your daisy, and the reason why I've chosen not to cut them before the video is because I wanted to show you how I managed to get the stamens longer than this die. Now it's a really easy tip, and some of you may have seen this before, but for those that haven't, it's something definitely to carry with you in other collections. So what I'm going to do is take my die plates, and I've got a piece of foam here, and I sort of wanted my stamens to be as long as this strip of foam, okay? And of course we can see that the die does not stretch that far. Of course we can only make dies to a certain size. So what I'm going to do is fold this piece of foam in half, and you can see here we have a folded edge and the two open ends. So if I choose to place my die over the top of this foam, but I do not cut the folded sides, that means that this will still open up double width, okay? So I'm going to pop this down, making sure, of course, I've overlapped the folded edge. I'm going to get my die plate and pop this straight through my machine. So you may have done this if you're a paper crafter and you've done it in card blanks where you have a die that will overlap the edge of the card blank. Sort of similar to that, because we're still using the full die, but we're sort of extending what it can do. Okay, so take my die out of here. It's popped straight out of there. And you can see what's happened is, as I take the cut out of the foam, we're left with what looks like the size of the die. Then as I actually open this up, open it for you, there we are, you can see that it is double the width. So look at the size of that. We now have a strip of stamens, and our die of course was not that large. So you can see here this is the size of the die, and now we've got a strip of stamens that long. So it means we don't have to glue them all together, so you've got more to work with. And I've worked out that a piece of foam that's A4 folded in half is the perfect length to make the stamen that you need for your daisy. So what I'm going to do first is I've got my Fleurs wire, and I've created the hook on the end to give us a bit of stability to grip our foam to. Bit of hot glue on there. We're going to take the end of the stamen. Now we're gluing it to the side where we've got the flat edge, and of course up the other side is where you've got all the little stamens. And I'm going to do just one curl over like that, and we've sort of created a flag. Okay, I'm just going to quickly let that dry. Then all you're going to want to do is start wrapping it round, almost like you're quilling with this. So we're going to wrap about 5 rotations, add a bit of hot glue, and then we're going to do some more rotations. And I do intervals of about 3 or 4 rotations, then add a little bit more hot glue. And the reason for that, without doing the whole thing and just gluing the end, is because I don't want all of this to become unravelled. So as I'm pushing up petals, or I'm manipulating it, or maybe colouring it, I don't want it to become unravelled. So it's a little trick that means that it's going to keep its tightness, and it's going to make it look fuller as you've coloured it. So I've got a little bit here left. Straight in with my hot glue again. The thing is, you'll find when I first ever worked with Fleurs or any foam, I didn't know what glue to use, and the only glue, and the one that works the best, is the Kit & Caboodle glue gun, because the temperature is perfect to work with these. You won't burn the foam, and the glue grips instantly, so you don't use wet glue with your foam, always hot glue. So you can see there we've got our bud, and that is dried and set already. So my stamen is fully created, and now it's time to start adding our daisy petals. So I'm taking my foam mat, and I'm using the side that I used to pierce into. I'm not using my shaping side. And those two largest ones I've got here, I've not had any coloration to them. I've left them pure white, and I'm going to pierce down straight into the centre. And before I actually butt it up to the stamen, I'm going to just add a little bit more glue in here. And that's because I've got a larger circumference of a stamen head. So if I had in a small area with a pinch, I would add a tiny drop of glue. I've added a little bit more there so I can be sure that that stamen is fully adhered to the base of all those petals. So push it up like this. Then we're going to do the second one. And I find just using 2 is enough. If you wanted to create one of the daisies that are really full and thorough with lots of ruffly petals, of course you can do that by adding more and scrunching the petals. But I think there's something quite pleasing about a signature daisy, and they just look so beautiful in a trail or added into a wreath or any spring element. They work really well. So a little bit of hot glue again on the underside of the one we've just glued down, and pushing that straight up with our finger and thumb. I'm going to make sure I alternate it so I've got a petal in every gap like that, and then push it together. And as that's drying, you want to just hold it here to push it up, and it dries in a matter of seconds. Now the stamen at the top is fully set, and then all I'm going to do is work around the edge of it with my finger like this, and all of those little edges I'm fetching out to make it sort of bush out into that signature domed daisy head. Okay, so all of those are now spread out on there, and that is our daisy head ready to craft with. So think of making these in different colorways, think of making assortments or bunches of these. They look absolutely beautiful, but that's how easy it is to assemble the daisy from this A Year of Flowers set.